The police and FBI have repeatedly ignored attempts to report pedophile rings that both stalk victims online and in person in retaliation. They sit back while children and former victims are harassed, physically assaulted, and have their property damaged by these degenerate monsters that spy on, groom, and molest children in broad daylight. The failure to investigate or have a report on record prevents more competent or braver law enforcement from attempting to investigate later on. It prevents victims from being able to have records of official attempts to get help. These pedophiles have been using advanced systems of online criminals to hack into and reroute internet traffic of victims, as well as using an advanced AI system that has been weaponized to map out and exploit the human mind. This new generation of technology has allowed sexual predators to combine the human brain, human psychology, and AI that has resulted in criminals having control of an Orwellian weapon of mind alteration that they are exploiting to groom children and harass former victims. They will regularly use this weapon to pose as family members, friends, and schoolmates of victims in order to facilitate abuse towards children and former victims. While the police failed to do their duty by taking a report on this, victims are being provoked every single day by the monsters that have invaded their lives, which is precisely why these sexual abuse rings retaliate in the ways they do. They first use a victim's internet connection to show dupe or hacked websites with altered content, often using information about them without naming them, such as describing exactly what they are wearing, an identifying birthmark, or the layout of their room, anything that will grab their attention but would not be sufficient to report to the police. This is designed by these sexual abuse rings to allow pedophiles and online harassers to hide behind plausible deniability. These sexual predators will then proceed with a process designed to psychologically torture a victim by spamming topics at them in order to sensitize them to innocuous things that will be used by pedophiles as symbolic speech designed to harass. While this is always illegal because it is stalking and harassment, the method these people engage in stalking former victims is similar to that of Scientology, where this group utilizes numerous strangers. The point of this is to be visible to a victim so that they feel harassed, paranoid, and stalked. When they have successfully sensitized victims, they begin a campaign of harassment that is in all likelihood designed to provoke a victim of child sexual abuse and rape into violence, incarceration, or internment. These criminals use mockery, provocation, stalking, hacking, and spying both online and in public to attempt to force their victims to lash out in some way that will negatively harm their lives. The pedophiles and other criminals involved that are a part of this harassment campaign will feign ignorance or attempt to portray their stalking victims as the instigators if they are called out. Law enforcement sits back as this happens, even though officers have acknowledged that other citizens have reported experiencing similar retaliation patterns. The truth is that these criminals, pedophiles, and sexual abusers will develop new and more invasive technologies that the average person probably could not believe even exists. The failure of law enforcement to even put up a semblance of a fight against it is a tacit form of approval and alignment with pedophiles, criminals, and sexual abuse rings that use this technology to villainize the children and former victims they have abused, tortured, stalked, spied on, and raped.